You're watching Bet Rivers Pro Football Weekly on the Bet Rivers Network.
Welcome, everybody, to the latest edition of Bet Rivers Pro Football Weekly, along with longtime NFL player Brandon Stokley. I'm Adam the Bull, and we are here again in Week 2 to help you pick some winners amongst the biggest games in the NFL. But, you know, Brandon, I say the biggest games in the NFL, but every game in the NFL is a big game, is it not?
That's right. I mean, they all matter. You know, obviously the division games mean a little bit more, but they're all big. You know, whenever you're playing 17 games, and that's all you get to determine if you make it into the playoffs or not, they're all big games.
How hard is it as a player when you know every game matters, but you can't make every game the end of the season if you lose? How do you find that balance as a player?
Yeah, you just got to train yourself, you know, that win or lose, good game, bad game, you got to learn from it on Monday or the day after the game, and then you got to move on and focus on the next game. I mean, that's it's a hard thing to do because especially if you play bad, you know, it kind of lingers for a little bit, and but you good or bad, you just got to train yourself to move on after Monday and start focusing on the next week.
And teams like the Bears, who blew a game late, which I know cost you. They just blew that to the Vikings. The Ravens blew one late with a rare Derrick Henry fumble of all things to the Bills. And of course the Browns, for those who watched the game, completely outplaying the Bengals, but missing an extra point in a field goal, which cost them the game. You got to bounce back. And when you're a bettor, that's going to happen too. There's going to be bad beats. It happens all the time. It's hard to be a successful gambler. If you're just a little over 500, you're doing great.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you see some of those teams you're talking about, and that's tough. You know, first week of the season, you're so optimistic about the year, and you have games won. And just when you give games away, those hurt more. Those hurt a lot more than if you just get whipped. So some of those teams that just gave games away in the first week of the season, those are hard to overcome. So it's going to be interesting to see how they respond.
So in terms of the picks for the fans last week, we both were over 500. That's the goal, to be over 500. Brandon, actually, including some picks we made during the show, ended up going 6-5, even with the heartbreaking Bears loss, which it looked like you had. But then again, you had the Bills, and you could have lost that one. So it all evens itself out, right? A couple of things that stood out that you really nailed, that stood out to me. You had the Chargers covering against the Chiefs. You like the Packers against the Lions. You like the Browns against the Bengals. And those were all picks that you were really strong about, and those all hit.
Yeah, those are my good ones. Thank you for bringing those up first. I appreciate that. I remember – I don't remember all of my picks, but I remember one of my bad ones that I did pick. But those were some good ones, and hopefully I can carry that momentum over. The one that I still really can't get over is – I took the Patriots at home against the Raiders, and I just thought that we would see a really strong performance. Vrabel's first game coaching there, coming back and as the head coach, and Drake May's second season. Josh McDaniel returns as the offensive coordinator, and nothing. You know, and they lose to the Raiders. So that one took me by surprise.
And you would have thought if the Raiders won that game, Ashton Genty had a monster game, which he didn't. So it was strange. Yeah, I had the Raiders in that one. I had Bryce Young over 16.5 rushing yards, which hit. But I had the Panthers plus the points, and that didn't even come close. So 2-1 for me, both over 500. So we're off to a good start. And we got plenty of games for you, so let's jump right into it. Let's start with a game you like here, and that's the Niners and the Saints. They're going to play at 1 o'clock Sunday. So Brock Purdy is not going to play in this game for the Niners. We know the Saints are not very good, but they're going to go with Mac Jones, who obviously has NFL experience. The Niners are a 3-point favorite in this one, Brandon, and you like them even with Mac Jones, huh?
Yeah, I do. I just think Kyle Shanahan's great at what he does. If you're a competent quarterback, he can get the most out of you. So I think he's going to do a good job with Mac Jones. And I just don't, and I don't believe in the Saints. I don't know who the Saints are. I don't believe in them right now at all. So I'm just going to go with the better football team, and hopefully Mac Jones plays well.
Yeah, I don't blame you on the Saints. They're really like the most nondescript team in football. They got Alvin Kamara, who's really good, but like their passing game, I don't know if they have anything. Their defense, nobody stands out. Their best receiver is Olave, but he's always hurt. So it'd be tough to be a Saints fan right now.
Yeah, that's not fun at all.
No. All right, next game to look at. Neither one of us actually has a pick in this one, but I'm curious. Jaguars, Bengals. Bengals are a 3.5-point favorite in this. The Bengals really didn't – they won, but they still played poorly in week one, which they seem to do every year. I expect them to bounce back and play better in this game, but I still don't trust their defense. So, to me, this is a stay away. What do you think about Jags at Bengals?
Yeah, if I was taking it, give me the points.
Yeah.
I thought that, since all the talk about them starting faster, now they to your point, they got the win. They got lucky to get that
Very
win.
lucky, yeah.
So I don't know. I'm still not sold on them getting off to a fast start. So
yeah.
I would take the points and take Jacksonville.
All right, the Bills and the Jets. This is one where we both have a pick here. This is a 1:00 game. Obviously, the Bills off that big comeback victory against the Ravens. The Jets played a lot better than I thought against the Steelers, but in the end, the Steelers get it done as Aaron Rodgers sticks it to his old team. You like the Bills to cover the 6.5 on the road?
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about a letdown game for them. You put a lot into that game against Baltimore, and great comeback, big win. So I'm a little bit nervous about a letdown game. I think the Jets played, to your point. I was surprised they competed that well against Pittsburgh, but I don't think they can do it again. I think Buffalo's just a better football team, and I think Buffalo shows them why they're probably the best team in the AFC right now.
Yeah, I kind of like the Bills as well. I didn't pick it because you already had, and I didn't want to steal your pick, but I'm kind of with you there. But I do like some action in this game. I like James Cook, the Bills running back, to go over 57.5 rushing yards. I think the Jets, like every other team, are so focused on Josh Allen and his ability not only to kill you in the passing game, but also kill you with his legs. And James Cook is just kind of under the radar. He doesn't get a lot of talk, doesn't get a lot of hype, but the guy's pretty steady. He's not sensational. He's not a superstar, but he's a pretty steady back. And 58 yards for him, I think he's definitely going to get there.
I like that. I do. I like that. I think you're spot on there. So 2 thumbs up on that one.
All right, next game. Neither one of us has a play, but I wanted to mention it. The Giants at the Cowboys. It's a 1:00 Sunday game. I think it's the first time, I can't remember the exact year now. I meant to write this down and I forgot. I believe it's the first time a Giants-Cowboys game is being played at 1:00 in, I want to say, 10 years, something like that. Because usually the New York market, the Dallas market, these are usually night games or at least 4:00 games, but both these teams are not very good. They're both 0-1. Which team do you like better? Do you like either of these teams?
No, I don't. I think the big question here is, does Russell Wilson survive this game? Does he last the whole game, or does he get replaced midway through the game and they insert Jackson Dart? Reports were out there that that Daboll wanted to make a change before during this week, leading up to the game, and go with Jackson Dart. So, Russ is already on thin ice there with the Giants. I think that's something that I'll be watching. So yeah. I'm staying away.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm staying away from this one because I don't trust either team. Obviously, I like Dak Prescott better than Russell Wilson, but I don't trust the Cowboys defense. And the Giants, there's too many question marks on their offense right now. And you're right. Like, will they go to Dart? I'm not messing around with a game where a rookie quarterback might jump in the middle. Browns and Ravens, that's another Sunday 1:00 game. Ravens, as we mentioned, both these teams coming off bad losses because the Browns held the Bengals offense to 7 yards in the second half and lost. That should be impossible. Joe Burrow threw for like 110 yards. Myles Garrett was, as usual, a man amongst boys. The rookies all look good for the Browns, but they're 0-1. And the Ravens scored a ton of points, but fell apart at the end, and they're 0-1. So both teams need this one, especially the Ravens.
Yeah, the Ravens can't let this one get away from them. So yeah. I think you're going to see a motivated team. And the Ravens, the thing about the Ravens is, there's no panic in that organization. There's no panic. They'll stay the course, and they'll be fine.
Yeah, I do have one play in this game. I'm staying away from the line. It's 11.5. That's too much. The Brown. Yeah. I don't know how good the Browns defense is. We'll see, but they played well enough last week against Burrow that I don't want to lay 11.5 points because they could keep it close with their defense. But, and maybe this might be a prisoner of the moment pick, I'll admit that beforehand, but I still like it. Harold Fannin Jr., the rookie tight end on the Browns, had a big week 1. I love this kid in college. He's from Canton, Ohio, about an hour away from where I am in Cleveland. He played at Bowling Green. Nobody paid any attention to him except his opponents because he put up tons of yardage against everybody, including big-time schools like Penn State. And then he comes out his first NFL game. They've got him out wide. They've got him in the slot. They've got him next to the tackle. They've got him in the backfield running Wildcat. I mean, they're doing everything with this guy. Over 36.5 yards to me. He got to whenever Flacco was in trouble, he was dumping it off to Fannin. So I'm going over 36.5 with him in that one.
Well, I'll lean on you for that one. Obviously, Flacco likes tight ends.
Yes, he does.
And if he's a guy, I played 1 year with Joe. So if he's a guy that you can trust, he's going to go to you. So I like that.
Joe, I've interviewed Joe a few times, but obviously I don't really know him personally like you probably do. I don't know how well you know him, but seems like the best guy.
Yeah, great guy. Had a lot of fun just 1 year with him, but I do see him every now and then. I just can't believe he's still playing. Remarkable.
It is amazing. 40 years old, and he's still playing pretty well. All right, you had the Steelers last week, Brandon. You going back to them again this week. This week they host the Seahawks, 1 o'clock on Sunday. They're favored by 3. How come back with the Steelers this week?
Yeah, I just think I'm going to keep going with them. Aaron Rodgers, I think he threw 4 touchdowns, and now they're at home. So that's a tough place to play. Seattle, tough loss last week to the 49ers. So it's a 3.5 right around there. Give me the Steelers at home.
How big a deal is it? We talk about this all the time, but you've actually been in this situation for these West Coast teams to go to the East and whether it's Pittsburgh, whatever. How big a challenge is that, especially playing a 1 o'clock game?
Yeah, it stinks. It's not fun. I mean, your body clock is thrown off, and sometimes I was on teams where you would get in pretty late, too, and then you feel rushed, and you gotta wake up, and your clock's all screwed up. So anytime we made a trip like that, I always like going out on Friday. Get there on Friday, have Saturday to kind of lounge around, have a walk through. So that always seemed to help. I don't know when Seattle's getting out there, but I always like going out there a day early.
Seems to make sense. I mean, there's a lot of money in this league. Teams can afford to spend another day in the hotel. I don't know why everybody doesn't do it. All right, this game, I was surprised you didn't have a pick in this game because I got 2. It's your team, the Broncos, at the Colts, 2 of your teams. The game's in Indianapolis, 4:05 Sunday. I like the Broncos minus the 1.5. I know the Colts played really well last week, but I am not a believer in Daniel Jones. And I am a believer in this Broncos defense. I like the under in this game also. Broncos minus 1.5 and Broncos Colts under 43 for me in that game.
Yeah, I like that under. You're spot on there. Their defense played great last week, and if I was to do anything on that game, I would go with you there and take the under also. I just don't know I don't know who the Broncos are. Their offense was so bad last week, and that was at home. And now they're going on the road, and it's got to be better. But their defense did play great. So, but I just, it's one of those where the point spread right now, and I don't know Indy. I don't know who Indy is. They had a great win last week, but are the Dolphins really that bad? Or is Indy and Daniel Jones, does Daniel Jones find something, a perfect match with Shane Steichen and that Colts offense where, he's going to have a year where it looked like he had, a few years ago when he led the Giants to the playoffs. So, I'm staying away from the point spread there. Not quite. I don't quite know with either team what I'm going to get, but I do know the Broncos defense is great and the Broncos offense stunk last week.
Yeah. All right, Eagles Chiefs 4:25 Sunday. Neither one of us had a play here, but we got to mention this game. It's the rematch of the Super Bowl, of course. The Chiefs got boat raced in that Super Bowl. The Eagles played a weird game last week against the Cowboys. Ton of points in the first half, no points in the second half. Chiefs obviously losing to the Chargers, not playing particularly well. There's rumors swirling this week. Maybe Tyreek Hill could end up back with the Chiefs. I could see that happening. Who knows? You excited about this game, or you think it's going to be one-sided?
No, I love it. Oh, gosh. Yeah, can't wait to watch this one. And if I'm picking the Chiefs in this one. It's the NFL. This is what happens in the NFL.
Absolutely.
One week you get your butt whipped, you lose. The other team's the best thing in the world. You're playing at home. It's the Chiefs. All they heard all week is how bad they are. They're done, this and that. And so I'm expecting them to come out and play good football. They're playing at home. And so, this stuff happens in the NFL every single week. So if I'm going to pick it, I'm going to pick the Chiefs.
All right, Falcons, Vikings, Sunday Night Football. Falcons played that wild game against the Buccaneers. The Falcons get a Michael Penix touchdown with like a minute and a half to go. He made a great play diving into the end zone without hitting his knee. Baker drives the Bucs down, gives them a 3-point lead. They miss the extra point, leave it open for the Falcons. Then they miss a field goal that's ended into overtime. So a brutal loss for them, and obviously a brutal loss for the Vikings. A big win for the Vikings as they come back against the Bears. So, and what'd you think of J.J. McCarthy? He looked terrible for 3 quarters, but looked great in the fourth quarter. What do you make of it?
Yeah, so we're going to see.
Yeah.
We're going to see what he looks like now. Yeah. He got going, and he did. He looked great in the fourth quarter, but he looked terrible for 3. So, will that carry him over this week, that fourth quarter that he had, or will we see more of those first 3 quarters? That's if I'm making this one, I'm probably going to just pick the Falcons because I don't know what we're going to get with J.J. McCarthy. I just don't know what we're going to get there. But obviously, that was a tough loss for the Falcons and a huge win for the Vikings last week.
Yeah, the Falcons just got to ride that running back because he is fantastic. He might be Bijan Robinson might be the best back in a game with Barkley and McCaffrey when he's healthy, who knows, but Derrick Henry. All right, 2 Monday night games this week. The early game, and you got plays in both of these, so we'll wrap up with the 2 Monday night games. The first Monday night game, the Buccaneers at the Texans. Texans looked awful last week. Baker Mayfield, who we ran out of Cleveland, he looked terrible his last year in Cleveland. He looked terrible in Carolina. He went to the Rams 2 years in a row. He's a mess. Since he's gone to Tampa, he's been right around the, 8th to 10th best quarterback. He's been tremendous. I got to give him a ton of credit. Played well last week. You like the Bucs, who I'm a little surprised they're a dog in Houston.
Yeah, I just don't, I like Baker. I like what they've been doing. And I don't know who Houston is offensively. They changed offensive coordinators. They struggled this past week to score points. C.J. Stroud wasn't the same quarterback last year as he was his rookie year. So offensively, I just don't know what I'm going to get from Houston right now. And so, hey, that's why I'm leaning towards Tampa.
Yeah, and Houston's got some major offensive line issues. They've lost like 4 starters from 2 years ago. That's a big problem for them right now. And they don't have a running game because Joe Mixon's old and hurt. Nick Chubb was okay, but he's old. He's not the same player. So that's tough. Having a bad offensive line and a questionable running game, that's going to hurt almost any quarterback. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Chargers are playing the Raiders, of course, the late Monday night game. Both teams 1-0. One big question in this game, will Brock Bowers be able to play? The superstar young tight end is a little banged up. That to me, makes a big difference in this game. Either way, you like the under.
Yeah, I like the under in this one. What's the spread on this one?
46.5.
How much?
46.5 is the over-under.
And the point spread?
The Chargers are 3.5-point favorite at the Raiders.
Yeah, so and the spread being right around 3.5.
Yeah.
If I was gonna touch it, which I'm probably gonna stay away from division game. I mean, the Raiders surprised me last week, so I got to be careful with them, messing around with them again. But I like the under in it, but I would probably give the points there because I'm still not sold on the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I get it. Even though I picked the Raiders last week, I don't believe in them overall. And the Chargers looked really good. Obviously, they're well coached. They got a good quarterback. They're not asking him to do quite as much as they used to, but they can run the football between Hampton, led by Hampton. And, they're a pretty good team. But the under in that one, I could see that too with the defenses in this one. All right, so there you go. Those are the picks. Just to recap, Brandon's got the Niners -3, the Bills -6.5, the Steelers -3, the under. He's with me in the under in the Broncos-Colts game, the Bucs +2.5, and the under in the Chargers-Raiders game at 46.5. I've got James Cook over 57.5 rushing yards, Harold Fannin Jr. under 36.5 receiving yards. I've got the Panthers. What was that?
Over, right?
Over. I'm sorry.
Over.
Man, I'm having all kinds of brain farts here. Over. You saved me, Brandon. Over 36.5 receiving yards. I got the Panthers against the Cardinals, not the Chargers, plus 6.5. I've got the Broncos Colts under 43. I got the Broncos minus 1.5 points at the Colts. Those are the picks for week number 2. We appreciate you all joining us. Please hit the subscribe button if you have not done so already. Thanks to Tim and Alex for producing today. For Brandon Stokley, I'm Adam the Bull. We'll see you next time on Bet Rivers Pro Football Weekly. See you, everybody.
Thanks for watching Bet Rivers Pro Football Weekly on the Bet Rivers Network.